Hello everybody and welcome to Storm Reads, and today I have my August wrap-up. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to do my August wrap-up like I said, and I've been meaning to do this for a few days, and it's just kind of, the month's already getting away from me, and it's crazy. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to rectify that. And I'm going to be talking about the August books that I read, plus the movies that I watched. Because it was Garb August. And I wanted to do Garb August by not only reading some books, but watching movies and things like that. And so that is what I did. So I called my movies Action August. And most of the movies that I watched were filled with action. I mean, there was one that didn't really have a lot of action in it, but it was still good. And so let's just get right into the books. Okay, so we're going to start off with a broad overview of my month in reading. So I read a total of 20 books, and 12 of those were for Garb August, and 4 of those were for Keep Me in Suspense Readathon. And so that means that I read 4 other books that I didn't really consider went with either one, although I'm sure they probably could have been lumped into Garb August, because I do read just for entertainment purposes, and so most of the books that I read are probably going to be in that, like, category. So, ratings-wise, I had 1 5-star, 3 4.5 stars, 8 4 stars, 2 3.75 stars, 1 3.5 stars, 4 3 stars, and 1 2-star. Boo. So overall, I had a pretty stellar August, so I'm not complaining at all. I, for the most part, enjoyed everything but one book. So I'm just going to go over things the way I had it set up here on my presentation for keeping track of what I was reading, and just kind of go from there. I'm not going to be like, these are the 4 that I read that I didn't think would fit in for Garb August or anything, because like I said, pretty much everything could have been lumped in there. The 12 for Garb August were basically the ones that I had set for that TBR and everything. And I mean, you can just see here on my buddy reads, most of these would probably fit in with Garb August. So the buddy reads, I had 5 of them, and 2 of them were J.A. Jance books, and we have Shoot Don't Shoot. That's the 4th book in the Joanna Brady series. Very, very good. I enjoyed it a lot. Then we have Minor in Possession, which was number 8 in the J.P. Beaumont series, and it was very good too. I really enjoyed it. And then we have Side Jobs by Jim Butcher, which is a series of short stories. There was one story in particular you need to read before going into Ghost Story, and so we wanted to make sure we went ahead and read that. And so it was fun. I'm not a huge short story person, I say it all the time. But whenever it's part of like a favorite series, it's not quite so bad, because you're just getting like little episodes from your favorite people. Then we had Sweet Laurel Falls by Rayanne Thane. This one is the 3rd book in the Hopes Crossing series, and it was very enjoyable. Definitely tugs at your heartstrings. I don't read a whole lot of contemporary romances, but I do have some favorite contemporary authors that I know reading their books, I'm probably like 9 out of 10, I'm probably going to enjoy them, and it was a very good read. Then we have Murder on Bedford Street by Victoria Thompson, and this one is the 26th book in the Gaslight series. It's the one before the end. I'm so sad to be coming to the end of this series, but I know that I will always be able to reread it anytime I want and everything, so that makes it not quite as sad. The only big sad part about it is knowing that the reason there is going to be no more in this series is that the author has passed away. Okay, so next up I have the Keep Me in Suspense readathon. This was hosted by Caitlin from Chronicles of a Book Nerd. I believe that's what it says. And Jeanette from Jane Reads. And this was a Christian suspense readathon and had lots of fun little prompts here. And I doubled up because I knew I wasn't going to be able to fit in a whole lot for this readathon. I picked out 4 books. I thought 4 books was good. If I could get to all 4 of them, great. If not, it's okay. But I managed to get to all 4 of them, so I am really happy about that. Standoff by Patricia Bradley. She's a brand new to me author. I've never read her before. It is the first book in a series. It's the Naschek Park Ranger series, I believe. And I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Now, probably not like blow your socks off fun, but it was still a good, enjoyable read. I liked the characters, and I liked the setup and everything, and so I will be continuing on with this series at some point. Maybe there will be another readathon where Christian suspense will fit in. And then I have one of my own books here. We have Crime Scene Conspiracy by Jessica R. Patch. Also my first book by Jessica R. Patch. This is a love-inspired suspense, so it's the Christian part of Harlequin and everything. This one was a large print, and so it looks longer than it really was, because this one was used for my under 250 pages, and because it's large print, it had more pages, but I'm counting it anyway, because if you look at the actual page count for the original, like, not large print, it's not over 250 pages, so anyway, this was probably my favorite one of the Keep Me in Suspense readathon. This one was chock full of action from the very beginning all the way through the very end. It was great. If you're ever wanting to try a Christian suspense novel, I do recommend this one. It is part of another series, so I get that if you don't want to start a series. But, you can just read this one and not have to worry about going on if you don't want to. But I'm pretty sure after you read this one, you will want to read more by Jessica R. Patch, because I do. And so, this one pits a female Texas Ranger up against a crime scene cleaner who I think used to be a Texas Ranger, but him and his brothers have started this crime scene cleaning job, and they end up having to work together a bit because things keep happening one after another, like I said, and both of them kind of come under fire, and so it's kind of like looking out for each other more than anything. And they knew each other previously and things like that, so it was kind of easy to see them put together, and it was great. Then the next one I have is Unknown Threat by Lynn H. Blackburn, and this one was the first book in a series that I can't remember the name of the series. But this one kind of pitted a FBI agent with a Secret Serviceman. I say kind of pitted them against because the Secret Serviceman does not like FBI agents. He has a reason why he doesn't like FBI agents, no matter who it is. I mean, he likes the lady, fine, and he's impressed with her skills as an FBI agent, but there is still something holding him back from thinking that they could have a relationship, and you would just have to read it to find out. But it had a lot of good action and things. There were a few parts that were kind of slow, but it still was pretty good, and I would definitely continue on with this series. And then the last one I have is Aftermath by Terry Blackstock. And this one is the one that I don't think it might be for everybody. It does have a shooting at a public figure, and kind of the aftermath of that. It deals with a little bit of a mental illness and things like that. and everything, but I thought it was very good. The ending was definitely bittersweet type of ending, and so, like I said, it may not be for everybody, but I really did enjoy it. It wasn't the fastest of books, and not fast paced or anything like that, and everything. So it definitely was probably the slowest one, I think, out of this group, but it was still enjoyable. So this group here are the ones that was specifically for Garb August and everything, and they were part of my original TBR. I didn't get to everything that was on my list, and that was okay because I did have a few add-ons that you will see here in a minute and everything. But the first one I have is Death Squad by Don Pendleton. It's the second book in the Executioner series. It's a fun men's adventure series that you just kind of take it with a grain of salt. It's, you know, from its time period, and it's cheesy, and it's just fun. And I'm having a lot of fun with this series. And next, I have another one of my own books, which was The Haunted Mask by R.L. Stine. This was Goosebumps number 11 or 12. I cannot remember. You know, I'm not good with that and everything. But it was a lot of fun. This girl's being kind of picked on and everything. And she's decided that she is going to scare everybody this Halloween and everything by putting on this really spooky mask. But there's some consequences with that and everything. So it was pretty good. R.L. Stine doesn't always sync the endings very well, and you're either going to like them or not. I was a little meh about the ending, but it was still okay. Then the next one is The Cold People by Christopher Pike, which is number 5 in the Spooksville series. And this is another kind of... It's kind of in the vein of Goosebumps and everything. Except the one thing with this series is I really think you should read it in order, because it does involve the same children, which each and every story, which also makes this perfect for Garb August, because it's really hard to believe that these same children run into all these different things in this town, and they just keep doing it. They know going to investigate or going to figure out is going to lead them into some kind of trouble, and they do it anyway. So it was okay. It was decent. The worst book I had this month would be Bury Me Deep by Christopher Pike. And I'm really sad about that, because I was really hoping that I was going to enjoy this. I mean, I went into this thinking, you know, I'm going to enjoy it. I used to love reading Christopher Pike when I was a kid, a teen, I guess, and I always loved his books, but I don't think I ever read this one. I mean, nothing about this one even remotely is memorable or whatever. So either I put it out of my mind, or I just never got to it, because I don't think I read everything from Christopher Pike whenever I was younger. I just remember he was one of my favorite horror authors of that time. And so, yeah, I was a little disappointed. The last 30 pages of this book was probably the most interesting part of this whole entire book, and I really should have just DNF'd it. I struggled with this book, everybody knows, the whole entire month and everything, and it was an eyeball read, and I should have put it up and just read something else with my eyes, but I didn't, and so it got the 2 stars, of course. Then I have one of my 25 and 25 books, which was The Lost Duke of Wyndham by Julia Quinn. This was a historical romance, and I think I was in the mood for this whenever I decided to start this one, because it was really good. Definitely a lot of fun banter, had an emotional part in it towards the end and everything. It had characters that kind of made you aggravated, but then at the same time you kind of felt bad for them. And this is like a duology. So the next book is about Thomas, and Thomas is one of the characters that you just don't know whether you're going to like or not, but by the end, you're kind of feeling bad for Thomas, and so you want to see how Thomas gets along with his romance and everything. So I do want to read that one. I don't own that one, but I'm pretty sure I can find it on audio, and so I will be getting to it because I did listen to this on audio, and so yeah, it was really good. Next up, we have the Entropy Effect by Vonda N. McIntyre. Now, I had a little oopsie with this because I wanted to listen to this one on audio because I don't really get on with sci-fi very well, and I'm just starting my little Star Trek journey, and I wanted to listen to the audiobook, but I didn't realize that the audiobook was abridged, and so I think at some point in the future, not in the near future, but in the future, I would probably like to try this one again and just read it with my eyeballs and see, now that I have like the whole story under my belt, that maybe I could understand it fine and get more out of it if I was to actually read the whole entire thing. Because even though it's small, the audiobook was only like a couple of hours, and I should have realized that it wasn't the whole story, but I just didn't at the time. And then the next one I have is Primal Waters by Steve Alton, which is the third book in the Meg series. And I really like this one. I wasn't a huge fan of the second one. I thought it was a little boring, but I thought this one was a lot more interesting. Interesting enough that I would like to get to number 4 sooner rather than later. Especially since it's refreshed my memory on things that are going on in the Meg series with Jonas and his family and everything. I would kind of like to continue while it's a little bit more fresh. So we'll see when I get to another one, because I have so many series, but I would like to. Then the next one I have is SVU Surveillance by Julianne Lindsay. This is a Harlequin intrigue novel. This is number, what is it? 1985. And I've always wanted to read a Julianne Lindsay intrigue because I've always read her cozy mysteries and I've loved them. And, well, I love her intrigue as well. I cannot wait to read another one. This is a series. It's the first book in the Heartland Heroes series. I know I have, I think, the last book in this series, so I will be searching out, trying to get the rest of the books in this series. I collect the intrigue books, and so this is definitely a series I think I would like to collect, so I will be trying to get to them. But in the meantime, I can listen to them on audio and be fine with not actually having the actual book, because I did listen to this one on audio, and it had a lot of action too. I tell you, I think I have been spoiled this year with just wanting action-packed books. J.A. Jance ruined me. I just want things that are fast-paced, interesting, and this delivered as well, and so it makes me want to read more intrigue, actually. And love-inspired suspense. I mean, the two books that, you know, really hit the spot were suspense. Though one was a Christian suspense and one is secular, they both were really good. So then I had a couple of add-ons. Okay, I had 3 add-ons. So 2 of these I had been looking forward to, and so when they came out on Libby and I had them, and it's like, well, I could push them back or I could read them, so I just read them. And so that one, first one is the House of Shivers. It's a Goosebumps House of Shivers, The Last Sleepover by R.L. Stine. This is the 5th book in this House of Shivers series. It's a newer series by R.L. Stine. This one just came out this year. And I would say most people are going to find it as creepy as the cover. Now, I didn't think it was scary or anything, but I do think middle graders and adults who don't like spooky will probably think it was quite creepy. It definitely makes up for number 4, which was kind of lacking in anything. It wasn't a very good one and everything. I've been really hit or miss with this series. I've liked the first one, the third one, and now the 5th one. So that doesn't bode well for number 6 if we're going like every other. But it was really good. And then, of course, since I enjoyed Death Squad so much, I decided, you know what, I want to read another Executioner book. So I did. So Battle Mask number 3 by Don Pendleton. It was a lot of fun. Mac Bolan decides his face is, too, words have escaped me. People know him too much. Like, he's just, everybody, I mean, you can look at him and be like, oh, hey, there's Mac Bolan. He's either the good guys or the bad guys. He's just, his face is too well known. That's what I'm trying to say. So he decides to get plastic surgery to change his face. But it was kind of funny because you can change your face, but you don't change your voice. You still sound the same. It's cheesy fun. And then we have Way Off Base by Julia Buxbaum, which is, I believe it's the 4th book in the Area 51 files. Super fun, silly, middle grade, about Area 51, about Skye, who she's never going to be able to leave Area 51 because she knows what's there. Aliens. So she's stuck there with her uncle because he's the one that's taking care of her. And so, she has to make the best of it, which means becoming friends with aliens and some of the other human kids that are actually on the base as well, because their parents work there and everything. And they investigate, and some of the aliens are really just off the wall. I mean, you have the PUs, I think that's what they're called, which means they're stinky. And her best friend is an alien, and I can't remember exactly what he's called or why, but when she looks at him, she sees him for what she thinks he should be, which is a kid her own age. But he's probably he could be like hundreds of years old, and he still looks like a kid to her, because when you look upon him, it's whatever you're thinking about is what you're seeing. So like adults see him as an adult. Sometimes that's not good, because sometimes they see him as an adult they don't like. So yeah, it's just a fun series, and it has some really fun illustrations in it as well. So there you have it. That's all of the books that I read in the month of August. So now we are going to move on to the movies. Okay, so I decided to do Garb August with movies as well, and I called it Action August. And so what I did was I asked the Storm Cloud members what movies did they want me to watch out of a group of movies that I showed them. I had some that I was kind of interested in watching, and these were the 4 that got picked. So I watched one each week, and I liked some and I didn't like others. So in the order of liking, I would say I liked True Crime, then The Fourth Angel, then Alone in the Dark, and then Setup. I just wasn't a huge fan of Setup. Love Bruce Willis, not a huge fan of Setup. True Crime, which was my favorite, I think more because it was along the lines of a mystery, so it didn't really have a lot of action. There was some action at the end, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like action packed. But out of all of them, it was my favorite. Then I just had a bunch that I enjoyed watching and everything. I picked, I think, almost all of mine were like 80s and 90s. The one that I told you I didn't like, it came from 2011. So yeah, I am not a huge fan of newer movies. I like my old stuff. So, just a broad overview. We have The Principal, Toy Soldiers, Highlander, The Last Dragon, Toxic Avenger, Masters of the Universe, Eye of the Tiger, Substitute 2, Jurassic Park 1, 2, and 3, but I just put the first one here. Lethal Weapon, Lethal Weapon 2, The Suburban Commando, and Diplomatic Immunity, and Runaway. Those two were not on my original list, but once I found out that Diplomatic Immunity was on Tubi, and I could finally get it because I've been wanting to watch this for a while because it was one of my favorites as a teen, you bet I watched it because you never know when it's going to go off Tubi. And this Runaway with Tom Selleck, it was quite fun. It was not super action-packed or anything like that, and it was a sci-fi, and it had robots, and I mean, you can definitely tell it was a movie from 1984 with these little square robots and things like that, but it was kind of fun. And I like Tom Selleck. So, out of these movies, I'm going to say Toxic Avenger was the worst. I'm not quite sure what young me thought about this movie, because older me thought it was horrible, very violent, and not funny. And I remember watching it all the time whenever I was a teen. So, just goes to show what you think about things as a teen and as an adult, totally different. Out of all of these, I don't really have a favorite. I enjoyed them all. So, there you go. All the movies that I watched in the month of August. Okay, there you have it. That's everything that I read or I watched in the month of August. August was packed full of good things. Yes, there were a few things, but for the most part, it was packed full of really good things. So, I am super happy with the way August went. And now I would like to know, how did your August go? Did you have some really great reads? Did you have some kind of bummer reads? Did you watch anything good? TV or movies? Let me know down in the comments. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye!